using those five main buckets, and it's that easy peasy. So you're a king of acquisition, in my opinion. You're an absolute bloody legend over here with acquisition. You are a wizard when it comes to LinkedIn. You have killed it with Facebook ads inside of this entire mix. And I know you have a bloody course that just came out that has been popping and popping. Literally in the same bloody hour, we have people who are getting leads and to jump on a bloody call with. It's absolutely genius. If you guys want to check it out, I'm going to link it below too, so you guys can see Shaw's LinkedIn course over here. But I would love for you to go a little bit in depth with how you acquire clients.
Yeah, so I mean, so there's basically two routes you can go for getting clients. There's organic traffic and there's paid traffic. Okay, the organic traffic is what you should be focusing on when you begin your agency, because when you begin your agency, you haven't validated your offer, meaning that you haven't proved that your audience wants it, you haven't proved that it solves their problems, and you haven't really explored the niche to really find out every single little pain point that you possibly can. So if you start paid ads in the very beginning where you don't have any of these things, you have no experience, you're literally just going to waste money. Unless you're like, a really experienced entrepreneur already, you got a shitload of money, you have, you've ran businesses before, you deeply understand a niche, then yeah, you could probably swing it. But if you're sort of just getting into this space, then I would totally avoid Facebook ads for the time being. What you should do instead is focus on organic outreach. And what that means is leveraging platforms like LinkedIn. You can do LinkedIn, Facebook groups, or cold email. Okay, and everyone knows about cold email in this space. It's been popping off the past year basically. But a source of clients, a source of leads and calls, sales calls, that's really untapped is LinkedIn.
Yeah,
like there's quite literally probably hundreds and hundreds of millions of business owners on LinkedIn.
Holy
right?
crap.
Each of them, the vast majority of them are multimillionaires. They have a lot of money and they're on LinkedIn for a reason. It's a B2B networking platform, right? They're on there for a solution. They have problems that they need solved, okay? So they're literally on that platform to have their problem solved. So they're just waiting for someone to reach out to them and make them an offer that they're actually interested in, okay? And that's what I did to get the vast majority of my clients. I really sort of developed a strategy and systemize a strategy that I can use to reliably book between 5 and 10 plus calls per week with my niche. And I've got it to a point where it's automated, it's systemized, and I know the structure of how to speak to these prospects, speak to potential clients in the DMs, ask them the right questions, dig up the right pain points.
Do you also show how to find those specific people as well?
Yeah, how to find those people, how to build targeted lists of people, how to plug them into automations, how to write messaging sequences that actually resonate with your niche, how to follow up with them on autopilot. But the biggest thing is how to actually position yourself on LinkedIn, because this is the big thing. Like I said before, if you're offering like the same thing as everybody else, then they're just going to ignore you because they're looking their problem solved, but they've been burnt before, or they get approached by 20 people offering the same thing to the same niche, and they have no reason to speak to you, right? So the way you differentiate yourself is by building up a really, really legit looking profile. You want to have some great, I don't want to go too much in depth because I cover it all in the course, but you want to have a profile that builds your authority in the niche, has content on there that explains their pain points, explains how you can help them. And everything about your profile just screams that you are the go-to expert for your niche. And when you message a prospect on LinkedIn, the first thing they do is click and look at your profile. So like they're going like, who's this guy messaging me? Before I reply, let me look at his profile, look over and see if he's legit, if he's like a scammer, a spammer, or whatever. But by the time they look at your profile, they're going to be sort of semi-convinced to get on a call with you. So like your profile does most of the work for you, right? And they respond to you, you have a short conversation, 3 to 5 DMs. And then if you feel like you might be able to help them, you offer them to get on a discovery call. So you say, hey, this seems like we might be able to help you here, but I'm not totally sure yet. Would you be open for a quick 15-minute chat this week to see if we could help you? Would you be open for that? And most times they'll say yes. Some people will say no. Of course, you're not going to get everyone, but a lot of people will say yes. And you schedule the discovery call, you hop on, you continue your sales process from there. But the real key about LinkedIn outreach is really building your authority, your brand on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is untapped in terms of like influencers. Like IG's popping, Twitter's popping. LinkedIn is like it's just bubbling under the surface, ready to explode. And there's not many people really taking advantage of LinkedIn to actually build a brand and get clients. It's so untapped right now.
Yeah, it's bloody freaking amazing. And then Facebook ads, you recommend going into after you see this already working, and then you're going to work into like a little bit of a sales funnel coming in with a VSL.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I mean, once you get to a certain level, you have a lot of clients, and you might have a little bit of spare money. It might make sense to hire someone to run your ads for you, hire an agency to build out your funnel and take care of that. Because as you build an agency, you want to be doing less, not more.
Yeah.
So you might not want to be running your Facebook ads and tweaking your funnel and doing the copywriting. So it might make sense to pay someone for that, but you really want to make sure that you've got a good amount of clients and a decent, stable amount of revenue coming in each month before you tackle Facebook ads, because you're going to have to obviously spend on a couple $1,000s at least to really make this thing work. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can just run lead generation ads. You can run a full scale funnel, with a VSL, and then they can book calls on the back end, and you can set up like an automated webinar. It's like an hour long, and then they can book calls or they can pay for your service straight away. There's so many different ways to skin a cat. Like that's a saying we have in Ireland. There's many ways to skin a cat. So yeah, once you get to that stage, you're going to want to use Facebook ads because it's scalable, right? Yeah. Once you start booking calls on a consistent basis, you can see from the data in your dashboard that we're getting calls for. And by the way, like a typical call from a VSL, from what I've seen, goes between 150 to 250 bucks roughly.
Oh, per lead.
Per call booked.
Okay.
Yeah, per call booked. Your lead is usually like on an opt-in.
Okay.
And then your call booked is,
what happens after the opt-in? Do you follow up with them via call, or do you usually put them in an email?
Yeah, so you can, if you're doing like a VSL funnel, they can opt in. You can do it two ways. You can do like a 2-stage one where it's video opt-in, video like intro video opt-in, video Calendly, book form, or you can do landing page opt-in, video Calendly. So they'll opt in, you get their email, you can put them through an email sequence, and I won't get into this because it's more in the weeds, but you can set up a system using your email automation software to tell if they booked a call or not. So if they did book a call, you don't send them an email blast.
That makes sense.
Or you can send them if they did book a call, you want to send them like a case study flow to convince them before they get on the call. If they don't book a call, then you can set up a flow where basically reminds them, hey, you didn't finish the training, or hey, would you like to book a call? And you can give them content that can convince them either to rewatch the training or just go straight to a call. But that's like more advanced stuff that would require a lot more like in-depth work to get that done. If you're just beginning, I recommend definitely just sticking with organic, because you're going to get bogged down building funnels and all this stuff for months on end.
Perfect. Final question for you is on retention. I know you have hilarious retention strategies, bro. Not necessarily hilarious, they're just unique of their own. I know you go about sending your clients unique gifts. This is something that no one else does. It's how you retain the bloody people, because you have a human connection with them. But I would love to know some of your retention strategies. How do you, because like anyone can go and close a client. You have the freaking formula in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. You have Cold Email Wizards course, or Shaw's course will be here on LinkedIn outreach and getting the clients. And then you go to Utopia and you take my bloody script on how to close people by searching close call script, and you have it all. But retaining them is a difficulty. You guys want predictable monthly income. So how do you go about retaining?
Number one thing for retaining is straight up just delivering results. Straight up just being good at what you do and getting results for clients. There's no like magic trick that's going to gloss over like crap results.
Yeah. Did you show reporting or something? Because I've lost a big like 25K a month client because we took them out of a bankruptcy. They were hitting 7 figures, like real like stupid, ridiculous numbers. And we didn't show them reporting, and they would get irritated at that. And I lost the client because of it. Simple.
Yeah, that's one thing you systemize, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I do is I set up reminders in Slack, so you can do /remind.
Okay.
So you got a team Slack channel with your employees or your VAs in it. So you do like /remind.
Smart.
And you can say remind, Jenny every Friday to do the weekly reporting.
Do you guys see why I talk to this dude every day? This guy's a freaking genius.
So every Friday I get, notifications on my Slack to say, hey, do the weekly reporting. My VA does it every, and you can, if you have like weekly reoccurring tasks like that, you can set up, reminders in Slack, and it'll remind everybody to do it. But what was the question?
Retention.
Oh, retention. So yeah, first thing is results. Okay. You got to get results, plain and simple. The second thing is actually working with people that you kind of gel with, that you actually like.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you're kind of just going to work with whoever, will want to work with you, because you're not going to be picky. But once you have options, it's like anything in life. Once you have options, you can be more picky, right? So you can start working with people that you actually like to speak to. And I like to, a lot of people kind of just, you know, act real not stuck up, but like stiff with their clients and keep it very businessy and whatever. But you're forgetting that at the end of the day, you're a business owner, they're a business owner. There's a mutual respect there. Usually, like depending on your niche, like you might have an older crowd of guys who, you know, they're older entrepreneurs and they're looking down at you as like a young guy who's like getting after it, you know, being an entrepreneur, doing his own thing, and they respect that. And you can have this good relationship back and forth, and you can speak very candidly, very casually, and they love that. That's number two. Basically, have a good rapport with your clients. Number three is you can send them gifts, right? So when you get a new client, you should probably send them a gift.
Immediately, you want to send them, or do you want to? I usually wait like 3 months.
Imagine me and you're gonna work together. You're gonna pay me 10K a month, right? Yeah. Imagine you got a fucking sweet gift in the mail the week after, out of the blue. You didn't even know it was coming. What if you got like a custom pen, something that was actually maybe a couple few $100s? You'd be like, oh shit, these guys are cool.
I did that with. So I was explaining this to Shaw, ladies and gentlemen. My ex-partner was a kick-ass real estate agent in Canada, and whenever he would close a deal, and the new person would buy a house, he would actually go out, get a Mont Blanc pen for a few $100s, probably $800 for like the top tier ones, and he would get them to sign the contract with that pen. Then a few weeks later, he would have that glass box, put that onto like a little stand and put the pen on it and be like, you made X amount of dollars because of this one pen, or with this one pen over here. And they loved it. And the referrals were absurd. It was an amazing, amazing high IQ pen. So it's exactly what you're saying here.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like an emotional connection. Like you're giving them a little gift, like they love it. Like it commemorates the business that they did with you. So every time they see that pen, they remember, oh, I remember John. He was amazing. He did great work. He helped us close this deal. We made money with him, and he gave us this beautiful pen. And he was thoughtful enough to do something like that. Not many people are thoughtful like that. People just want to get clients and do the work, and that's it. But it's not the case. You know, once you send your client, you should get them something. You know, it doesn't really matter what it is. You could actually have on your intake form, your client intake form, or your onboarding form, like you could literally ask them, briefly talk about like what you're interested in. Oh, I like golf. I like flying.
Oh, that would be genius. On the onboarding part?
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Like one of my coaches,
that's a good idea.
One of my coaches said to me, we got one of our clients like a monthly subscription to, I think it was a golf magazine, because the guy loved golf and he loved that gift, right? A monthly subscription to that. That's great, because these guys are paying you thousands of dollars a month, and what? You know, you're scared to spend maybe $30 a month on a gift.
Margins are ridiculously high with the agency game as well.
Yeah, and was that the third thing or the fourth thing?
That was third.
That was the third. The third, yeah. And the fourth thing is getting gifts consistently, like throughout the year. Like, so, you get them a gift when they sign on, but imagine like everyone expects to get a gift at Christmas or a card at Christmas from their, who they work with. But imagine you got them like a gift in the middle of like September. Yeah. Think about, oh, don't even tell them it arrived. Maybe it arrives in a beautiful box that has your agency logo on it, and maybe it has custom gifts in there like that are tailored towards your client. Maybe he likes whiskey, maybe he likes golf, and maybe he likes, I don't know, Latinas. So maybe you get him like a decent bottle of whiskey. Maybe you get him, some like golf gloves. And maybe you get him, one way flight to Costa Rica. But you do something like, oh, John really, he gets me. He understands me. He knows what I like. And then they're going to text you, oh, Scott, that's awesome. Thank you. That's great. Yeah. It's out of the blue. So that's kind of my take on how you would, retain clients. But the major thing is getting results.
Yeah, I think that's genius, brother. This was probably the most in-depth call that I've done in the Utopia so far. Like this was psychotic amounts of value. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Shawpreneur. Give him a follow on Twitter. Check the course link below if you guys want to dominate the LinkedIn. This is an untapped market. You guys got to get in quick. This is like getting into Cold Email Wizards course months before it popped.
The discount.
Yeah, absolutely. And months before it popped off. And you guys also get a discount only for Utopians. He doesn't drop discounts to anyone. If you guys want to, go ahead and check that out below. And otherwise, this is it. Long live Utopia. Thank you so much, Shaw.
Thank you.